No one knows my story, and I don't care anyhow. As I sit here in the corner of this bar, another shot of whiskey. Bartender, please. Another pint of Bud Heavy to help put my mind at ease. If only for an hour, if only for tonight. Ever since I've been back, things aren't quite right. These scars are mine. They will be till the end. I earned them in blood. I earned them in friend. Blood on your hands changes a man. Spend the rest of your life just doing what you can. Mother told me, son, you're not the same. Saw another side of life, and that would change any man. I sit back and I reflect, realize I'll never forget things you can't imagine are the things in my head. Remembering 1 year over there, it's like doing hard time. No chance of parole. Memories for life. These scars are mine. They will be till the end. I earned them in blood. I earned them in friend. Blood on your hands changes a man. Spend the rest of your life just doing what you can. Another shot of whiskey. Bartender, please. Another pint of Bud Heavy. Help put my mind at ease.
Tim Meegan Jr. from his album Cook County Country. And I got to tell you, Tim, love this album. Just love this album. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Lamont. I am an instructor with the Cyber Chapter for Guitars for Vets and Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts Community. Welcome to Songs Sung True, a Veteran's View, where tonight we welcome back U.S. Army Iraq War veteran and Colorado singer-songwriter Tim Meegan Jr. Tim also appeared on our podcast back in November of last year when he shared so many of his deeply personal stories and also performed several of his original songs from this album, Cook County Country. And there's a podcast out there. In the event you don't know who Tim is, you definitely need to check it out on the Guitars for Vets Learning Center. Also on the Guitars for Vets YouTube page as well too. Hey Tim, how are you, my friend? It's
Good. How
been
are you guys?
hey, doing great. Oh man, like I said, thank you for this album, by the way.
I appreciate the
I
support.
I cannot I've played it for so many people, and the lyrics, the songwriting, it's just like it's right up there with some of my favorite singer songwriters from the '70s. It's just that good, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about what you've been up to, because I know we've been talking over the last few months off and on, and in those brief conversations that we had, the city of Memphis for some reason kept coming up. So
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to doing more of that in our conversation. But before we start talking, let me go ahead and just kind of point people towards your website, your social sites as well too. Under Tim Meegan, it's timmeeganjr.com for your website, and then of course you're also on Facebook and some of the other social sites. You're also on the streaming platforms as well. But let me go ahead and read to the folks who don't know who you are, what they can actually find about you and your band, the 105s. It says here that Tim Meegan Jr. and the 105s are Memphis recording artists based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Their sound is it's an organic blend, I should say, an organic blend of folk, soul, rock, and alternative country. A group comprised of war veterans, firefighters, and blue collar grit. I can get this right. Their lyrics speak the unapologetic truth about life and what they've learned. Their debut album, Race Against Time, was produced by Kevin Houston, known for Lucero North Mississippi All-Stars, features Rick Steff with Lucero, Reba Wilson of U2 and Johnny Cash, and Susan Marshall Powell, Leonard Skinner, and Letty Kravitz. And fans eagerly await the release of their new album, which is set to drop in 2024. Until then, they can be experienced live playing their truth for all the world to hear. That's quite a bio, Tim, now that I've kind of chopped that up, stepping over words and such. I hope I got that right, but that's actually what you've got posted on one of your web pages as well. Is there anything that I missed?
No, we that's kind of how we're selling ourselves right now until people hear the actual music that we did in Memphis. But that is a very accurate description of what we went and did and the people that we got to work with, and we're very excited to start putting this music out there.
Yeah, and I think if we can just kind of summarize, I'll just go ahead and throw out there some of the things that we've talked about, which kind of prompted me to follow up in a conversation with you saying, would you like to come back? The things to catch up on, you've got a new album either in the works or being released, and we'll talk about that. Taking your songs on the road, because you've been trying to find places where you can actually share your original music, not only as yourself, but also with your band as well. There's songwriting. What did it take to get you prepared to go into the recording studio in Memphis? Is there anything that you did special, particularly with a band, and maybe working with some of the big names, or maybe just names in the Memphis studios or the recording industry itself? growing with music. I don't know if if you're still playing just acoustic, but I can hear a lot more electric. Of course, there's more of an ensemble as well too. So there's some growing that maybe you can share with us, stepping out of that acoustic guitar spotlight and trying to find some type of a blend. And then of course Memphis. So, which is of course the best for last. So, but let me do this. What I'd like to do is kind of pick up where we left off when we spoke in November, and the one thing that we closed was These Scars Are Mine, and that's on Cook County Country. And at that time, I know you were still working on recordings, but that was really the album that you focused on lyrically, musically, the production as well, getting it out on vinyl, which was, I'm just curious, vinyl, what made you want to consider distributing it through that media?
It's the best. It's
Y-
it's a wood fire versus a gas fire, and I prefer a wood fire all day long. There's a smell, there's a the popping, there's a warmth to it that you don't get with just streaming music, that you don't get with a gas fireplace, But throwing wood on a fire and having that feel to me is the most important thing, and so very important vinyl.
and I'll tell you, growing up, to me, having to be able to touch the vinyl, to be able to read the lyrics, and you've included all the lyrics and stories as well too, along with photographs, which I thought CDs were a challenge. It's kind of like, yeah, it sounds really good, but you don't have quite the same experience as handling vinyl. And then, of course, when you're looking at the lyrics, it's kind of like, what? There are no lyrics in, or maybe I don't know. That's probably why I wear glasses and contacts now. It's because I can never read them; they're too small. But this is such a treat for your fans and your listeners to actually have that on vinyl. Hey, by any chance, is your next album? I know we're probably jumping ahead of the game here, but your new series of recordings, is that going to be on vinyl?
Yes, it is. In fact, 2 days ago we got our test pressings from Copycat Media out of Minneapolis. And so, yeah, us as a band got together and actually got to listen to our album that we did in Memphis on vinyl. And so it is being produced right now as we speak. And so we're,
How
yeah, just in
exciting!
the final approval process of the test pressings, and very excited about it because I love doing Cook County country, but what we did in Memphis is way different, like way different.
Well, I'd like to find out more because again, we kind of picked things up right after Cook County. We kind of scoured that album with your stories and really breaking things down as to how things came about with that album. But for our audience this evening, maybe you can kind of sum up the experience of Cook County country and maybe the inspiration to move you into the next phase of your songwriting and recordings. Were there things that what did you like, and what did you think might have been areas that you could improve upon? Maybe you can speak to those.
So Cook County country, I'm very proud of it. The band Vivian that kind of were the ones that really pushed me. They're good friends of mine. They were the ones that were like, "Hey, I want to record that," and we recorded that entire album in my house. They would come out on about 3 or 4 trips and record it, and we did it in the house. And they did most of the instrumentation. We had someone else come and do drums on a couple of tracks. So just that experience alone was very, very special to me to do it. And
Crowded with equipment and instruments and people.
just in general, it was just magical that like someone like they saw something in my songwriting. They they compared it to Towns Van Zant, which was he's a hero of mine. And so the fact that they were willing to do that and who they compared it to, like it was just I was just mind blown when we sat there and they started adding their magic to it. Great musicians that know how to play guitar and bass and the piano and the banjo. Like they're just universal great musicians, and they helped me create that album. And granted, it was at my house, but I'm very happy with it. I'm very proud of it. But with that, you start to grow, and you have to find new sounds. I think look for new challenges. I think is the biggest thing to grow, musically. And going to Memphis was my next big challenge for sure.
Well, I know there are stepping stones that you've taken to get to Memphis. So I'm hoping that maybe we can kind of talk through a few of those now. I want to go back. Is there anything on here that you thought, well, maybe it didn't quite hit the mark for me, and this is what I'm going to do for my next series of recording? Was there, or were you just completely satisfied with it and it's kind of like, yeah, no, I'll just set it down and not worry about it. I'll just go to the next album set of recordings and I'll just, again, do the best you can. What are your thoughts on that?
When we were going to Memphis, it was we had a plan of redoing some songs, and we just didn't know what they were going to be. And we actually ended up redoing 3 songs that we did on Cook County solely because they became completely different things with my band. When we would play them live, like they just turned into something else, to the point where we wanted to capture what we were doing. We don't play all those songs live, but there are songs that we do, and those were the ones that we were like, all right, let's go redo this, like, because it sounds so different. And the one song that started the whole thing was a song called Nowhere to Run, and we decided to redo that one as well, which I never really played live too much up until recently, and now me and my band play it live. Last 2 shows we've played it because it's, again, it sounds completely different. And so we decided to redo them.
The song that comes to mind, and I think you redid, that you're talking about, is Return Fire.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe I heard it. I thought I heard a live, a band version of that song, and maybe it was.
Yep. So as we went to Memphis, I was able to secure a time slot at Sun Studio where Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley got their start. And before we were going to the recording studio, which was a completely different studio, we landed on Sunday, and I surprised my band with a visit to Sun Studio, and we did 4 songs there. Just a bunch of music nerds in an iconic place where music history, it just oozes music history. And we went there and we're like, we're going to play 4 songs that aren't making the album. There were 2 new ones and there were 2 old ones, which Return Fire was one of them. Mm-hmm. And we redid my song April 16th, both those songs coming from Cook County country, and 2 new songs, but they all kind of fit a feel, I guess. But even those recordings are completely different from when we stepped in the studio on Monday. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The way those came out, they're completely different.
Almost like a warm up. If this is what it sounds like.
It was a very warm up. It was a team building exercise for sure.
A team building exercise. Wow, very cool. Yeah, I mean, just the difference in feel of the recordings, and I'm trying to remember the original version. You had mostly, I think it was all acoustic instruments there, and I don't recall a rhythm section or any type of. But when you did the team building exercise, that drummer filled in those gunshot simulations quite effectively, and it started to really cook as you got into the. Maybe that's why it was Cook County Country, because it was cooking. But it was you can tell the difference when you add the rhythm section and the electric instruments on that recording. And I'm looking forward to hearing the LP version or your EP version. So All right. Well, real good. Was there anything about songwriting that you learned from doing Cook County Country and how you wanted to move forward with songwriting that you thought, you know what, here's the direction I now want to take with songwriting?
Yeah, I think with Cook County Country, a lot of those, poems and what became songs were very personal to me. It was almost like I was bleeding my life story to people. And I'm not saying that's not the same thing with my new album. It is, but I think I just sort of found a way to, I guess, universally say it to people. And not every song, but some of my songs, it was a way for me to say it's, like we all kind of go through this instead of, something like April 16th. It's very personal to me and, the guys that I served with that were there that night and what happened to us in Iraq. That's very personal to me. Where some of my newer songs, they're just universal. I think anyone could really adapt to it and feel what it is I'm saying in their own life.
And to your point, after several listens with friends who, they really didn't know too much about military service, they got their dose. They got an immersion listening to the lyrics, to your music, and to kind of raise that awareness with them. So, thank you for that, for taking the time to write these vivid songs, these very very deeply emotional as well too in a lot of ways. Um, but listen, hey, I think I've talked enough, and I think maybe people are probably interested in hearing about some of the new music. Have you got a song to share with the group?
Sure.
What you got, and what's maybe you can give us a little background on it as well.
I'll start with a song. It's called Weathering Storms. Can you hear me all right? I got to adjust the mic for the guitar.
Yeah, you're coming in just fine.
I actually wrote this song right before we went. Uh, the meetings I had with my band prior to, I felt like we were all in the same kind of boat. We're all, sort of middle age, and we were going out there to do something. And I guess the backstory behind this song is my father-in-law. Me and him have a very common upbringing in the sense that like there was no big plan in our life. We just sort of went by the seat of our pants sort of thing, and like it just led us into like better things. And so he would always say that in our conversations together. And I just try to find a way to put it into song, even though I don't use any of those words. But it's basically, you don't make it this far without weathering storms. And
All
yeah,
right.
just and this was me and my band going to Memphis, and
All right. Tim Meegan Jr., everyone.
I've been down, I've been out, been flat broke and busted. I got a plan, don't quite understand. Oh, but I got trusted. I followed my heart, even when I was all alone. Don't make it this far, not weathering storms. And this fear of regret that I can't let go. have dreams, so I don't sleep. Some days they get the best of me. Life is short, life is long. Wanna look back and believe. Follow my heart, even when I was all alone. Don't make it this far, not weathering storms. In this field of grit that I can't let go. Follow my heart, even when I was all alone. Don't make it this far, not weathering storms. In this field of grit that I can't let go.
All right, Tim, Weathering Storms. That's for the new album, right?
That's from the new album.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. It's not even out there. And Tim, you are so cool with those words. I'm telling you now. I know in our last interview you talked about the importance of lyrics to you personally, and maybe you can talk a little bit about, you trying to put together lyrics in a song. Do you have? Of course you've got all the songwriting that you've done, but what were you doing before all of this lyric writing? Did you do a lot of creative writing?
I originally I think I would say no, I didn't, but I actually found an old book, a notebook that I kept in Iraq, and I was writing poetry in Iraq. It was poetry. It was never songs, not to me. And I was just writing poetry, and I stopped for a long, long time. I mean, probably upwards of 14, 15 years. And once I started playing guitar, it just started trying to put those words into, a melody, and let alone a chord progression, and yeah, just turning them into songs.
Did you find some similarities with poetry and lyric writing?
Oh, big time.
Really? Okay. Because when you put lyrics to music, which I'm curious how you move forward with that, is it do they always rhyme? Are there a certain number of syllables? Is there a certain pattern that you look for?
I think I write the poem for the most part, and then when it comes down to a melody, maybe I'll hear something in my head, or maybe it just takes me to sit there and play different chord progressions and apply it to the poet, the poem I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And and then you start rewriting, because you might need to change some words to make it fit, and that's kind of been my method. So I'd say very rarely something I wrote down went verbatim from a poem to a song. Sometimes it works, but you have to rewrite to make it fit. Or maybe you're like, I don't want to take out this word, I want to add a chord that makes it sort of fit here. And so it's just a lot of time sitting at the table over coffee, or sometimes beer, whiskey, whatever, and working through it to finally get what I want it to be.
I want to go back even farther. You were talking about writing poetry, and did that just kind of start while you were serving, or is this something that it's like, I always wanted to when I was, younger, and maybe you just started to read some of the popular poets. I mean, I'm just curious, because if taking this from the perspective of maybe someone who's interested in becoming a lyric writer or songwriter, and I have no experience in this. Where do you find this? How did you do it? What do you tell them?
I think mine has always come from music, especially now, like with my band. Like we get along so well, and we talk about things, and it's kind of cool because they're I'm a music nerd and they are too, and like it's just this beautiful thing where like we talk, and like in high school and even prior to that, I was always fascinated with music. I mean, I don't know what 10-year-old asked for the VHS of Woodstock, but I was that kid because I was fascinated by music. But I was a jock. I played football, I wrestled, for 10 years, and but I was always fascinated by band, but it was just never an area that I went into. And I think I definitely would always like write stuff because I'd hear a song on the radio that I liked, and so I would try to mimic it. But like I didn't play guitar. I certainly never dared to try and sing. Um, and it just I'd say it started from music for sure. Like I was never big into reading poetry by no means. It was music.
Oh,
I would.
wow.
I wanted a CD. I wanted, and my vinyl wasn't big, but my stepdad had a big vinyl collection, and I loved to
Mhm.
just sit there and read the lyrics, and I'd analyze like what they're actually saying, and because there's a lot of music that you just don't understand. People are like, I don't know what they're saying. I'm just bobbing my head to it, and like I really enjoyed reading the words and going, oh, they made that fit there. That's crazy, and but this is what the song means too. So.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this question. You can pass. Any question I throw at you, pass. Do you recall maybe the first time that you sat down to write a poem, the very first time, and what was going through your mind or your feelings and thoughts when you wrote, or maybe it doesn't have to be the first one, but when you first started, what it felt like? What were you thinking, and what was happening around you?
I would say this after finding this book that I did in Iraq. It's right there. That's why I keep looking at it. I was definitely trying to process what was happening to me in Iraq at the time. Especially, I really didn't think I was going to make it out after seeing so many of my friends die in front of me. So it was just, I think I was just writing stuff just to get it out there, thinking that, like I'm not going to make it, but, maybe this will go to my family and they'll maybe understand my headspace where I was at
Mm.
in Iraq. And I think that was one of the biggest remembrance of me now that I look back on it, that of writing a poem.
Thanks for letting us know. Um, you mentioned when you sit down with your band, I mean, there are opportunities to actually collaborate. Do you do a lot of that? I mean, on this written by Tim Meegan, but are you doing more collaboration with your band or with others?
With this, none of it lyrically. All the lyrics are mine for the most part. There's one song with a friend of mine who is not a part of my band. He would come and play acoustic shows with me as a lead guitar. There's one song that he helped me write a verse to. But other than that, I basically show the band the lyrics and what I got as far as chord progressions, and then it becomes a very collaborative thing at that point. And like at what point do we come in? What do we hold this chord longer and stuff like that? So musically very collaborative. But as
Got
far
it.
as like just the pure lyrics, this current album that's going to come out, it's mostly just my poems and
Nice,
songs that I wrote.
nice. Now, did I see you in a songwriters round? I want to say with some other Nashville singer songwriters. You had an opportunity to. I thought I saw it on your Facebook page.
Yep, yeah,
Okay,
we
good.
did.
No, Tom, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm curious about that experience. I mean, you had an opportunity to sit with your peers, I think, and they got to sing their songs. You got to sing yours. What was that experience like?
That's cool. I mean, that's the rawest version. That's why I like writing music. Um, you know, I understand a lot of people come into music with just the finished product, what they hear on the what the radio says you should listen to, or even a studio album. Like you get the final product. But I'm more of a I love hearing the backstory of a song, and like if I can see it in its most purest form, which is the person that wrote it and a guitar or whatever instrument they wrote it on, whatever. Like I that's my happy place for sure. I love seeing it go to different places, but at my core, my happy place is to do like a singer songwriter kind of circle and hear why someone wrote something and how they wrote it.
Okay, so now I've only seen you with a guitar, but I see a number of instruments behind you. So, and I'm trying to remember if I saw a piano anywhere in there on any of your
Yep,
photographs.
over that way.
Okay, all right. So,
I've got an electronic drum kit now
all right.
too, as well.
So, are you songwriting primarily with just an acoustic guitar, or are you also using other instruments for other drawing other inspirations?
Just guitar for me. Um, my daughter plays piano, so I'm hoping to get to the point to collaborate with her someday, and she could show me something. And
Mhm.
my son has gotten really into the drums. He says he really wants to be a drummer, and some of my bassists actually came over and surprised him with an electronic drum set that he could just put on headphones and just be an 8-year old and slam everything on there. And so I have a lot of instruments. I don't play them all that much other than my guitar.
Well, real good. Well, if it gets the job done for you, you're able to write the songs with guitar. You're out there performing and recording. By the way, I don't want to forget this. Did you use that guitar to record in Memphis?
I did.
Yeah.
And I got everyone that played on the album to sign it. So
Oh, you didn't have a videographer there, did you? Or is that for
we
the
got
next
some
project?
photos though. We actually the artwork for our album, the insert, we just decided to go with. We met this awesome individual. He came out and he was just like, I love taking photographs, and he did it for free and just captured some just pictures in the studio and outside. And so we decided to use nothing but that artwork from Memphis
All right.
on the insert for our vinyl album, so people can kind of see the process. And so,
Yeah.
shout out
Well,
to Jamie Harmon out of Memphis for doing that
All right.
for
Way
us.
to go, Jamie. Well, how about another song? Are you up for another one? I know that you have several lined up here. We could take a moment to share stuff that you've been working on and maybe even recorded. What have you got?
Yeah, so this song is it's called "No, It Ain't Easy at All," and I've had a few people when I played it live. They're like, they think I'm talking about suicide, and I'm not. I'm talking about balancing work life and home life and now music life, and why I could always sit there and play guitar at home, but like actually go out, record an album, to try to put yourself out there in front of crowds and to try to get gigs, to keep a band together, to keep a band happy. It's hard. And my dream is to, you know, hopefully make it somewhat in the music business. The point where like I could play shows and support myself, support my family. It'd be great. And that's a dream of mine, but it's also meeting a lot of musicians, like it's not easy at all. And I found myself listening to some Townes Van Zandt one day, and aspiring to be what he did musically, even if it's just as a songwriter that other people cover their stuff. And so this song kind of came out one day, and I like to reference a few famous musicians in it, which Hank Williams is a big hero of mine, and I kind of reference his song where he talks about going down in the river 3 times and only coming up twice. And another hero of mine, Waylon Jennings, his song "Drinking and Dreaming," which is a spot I've definitely found myself in.
That's great, Tim. All right, Tim Meegan Jr. Everyone.
Feeling like I can't keep up. This old life, rather than watch you go down. Up to my neck in these dark, dark waters. Thinking it's easier just to drown. And Lord, I get this feeling. Be easier just to fall. All my dreams got me weary. No, it ain't easy at all. No, it ain't easy at all. Riding highs just to realize it's just a calm before the storm. Then the lows, they find my mind. So welcome, wanted and warm. Lord, I get this feeling. Be easier just to fall. All my dreams got me weary. No, it ain't easy at all. No, it ain't easy at all. Feel the weight of the world on my back. Just take it one day at a time. Drinking and dreaming's my walking track. Every time I belly up to a bar. Lord, I get this feeling. Be easier just to fall. All my dreams got me weary. No, it ain't easy at all. No, it ain't easy at all.
Tim Meegan Jr. Everyone. Hey Tim,
Hi.
so I would really like to go back and explore some of those challenges and some of those victories that you've had with all of the things relating to getting a rehearsal together, a gig together, song lists, all of the things that you probably didn't think you needed to do when you started down this path. I think it'd be an educational educational experience to hear your perspective on those things that are aside from I just want to pick up my guitar and play and sing my songs. what are some of those things that you didn't know about that you were like, oh, I should have known. let me start rehearsals.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like it's such a learning curve for sure to start, and you have to keep. It's like anything, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Excuse me, and yeah, you're essentially putting a team together, and you hope that you all gel together. You do, and you think of someone like the Rolling Stones, like for how long they've been doing it. It's the same people, and like it's a rarity for sure that someone makes it that long. A lot of these groups, like they may get together, it's because they made that one album that made them famous, but they absolutely hate each other. And you could find a lot of bands, famous bands, that are in that realm
Mm.
of like, oh, this is just a business sort of thing, and that's why they play music together. But for me, it was I think a lot of my military time came to, with being a sergeant and having a group of, three, four, five guys that I operated with in Iraq together, and to, no, we're going to become a family kind of thing. And that's what I was looking for. And to the point where I got rid of some members because it wasn't happening. So that was the biggest thing. I was just like, I thought we were just making music together, but it was like, no, I had to, build a team, I guess, was a side of it that I didn't quite understand. I just thought it was, oh, we just get together and play. And no, you got to get along. You got to enjoy each other's company. At least for me, that's the way I want it to be.
You didn't know that that was part of the responsibilities. Is this something that you had to learn as you
I,
grew as a musician?
for me, it was, yes, I definitely had to learn that. And I think it came naturally to me though, but through my army. But at the same time, it was some of the people I'd played with, and like learning, and it's like, oh well, this isn't working, and just, yeah, had to adjust. And
And some of these were friends, or were these just musicians that you met?
I'd say more musicians.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the responsibilities for sure. Is if you're going to be leading the band, it's almost like work. It's like, oh man, I have to kind of manage. Yeah, you do.
That,
You hate to say
that's what
it.
I did not expect, was that it was
Yeah.
going to be this manager position, this
Mhm.
leader position doing this. And I think that's what I was trying to say. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, sure. And thank goodness, your experience in the army, in leadership and all, you were able to apply that. Were there other skills that, while you were in the service that you never thought you would apply to your, management of the band, if you will? Anything else that you had to draw upon that you didn't really think about?
I'm sure there is, but to me, it was just, I realized that that was kind of my role, and that's where I fit. Like every member of my band is a way better musician than me, for sure. And I think my role is being a planner, and organizing it, and just like, hey, this is what we're going to do, kind of thing. And but then there's also delegating, like, hey, like, can you take care of this because I need you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That role, yeah, just and I've said that to them multiple times. Like,
Got to be a communicator. Yeah.
yeah.
The art of communication. And then, of course, there's having to go out and try and find gigs. What's your experience been with that? It's probably like, oh, yeah, I guess I do need to go out and do that, don't I?
We've been getting in a good spot lately. I finally I sat down with my band, especially after Memphis, and if you're going out and playing, there's you hear people say, hey, pay your dues, play in a bar, do that. And we did do that. I've done that. They've done that in previous bands. So it depends on your goal, right? What you want to do. If you are comfortable taking on a 3-hour gig at a bar and hauling all of your equipment there, and you get paid a couple $100 to do that, that's great. Like, we could have all the bar gigs that we want, I feel like, if we promoted ourselves enough. And after talking with my band, for the most part, like, we want to pursue playing our own music, and that means we want to get into venues. We want to become the opener for maybe a touring band, and we want to showcase our music and what we did. And so there's a lot less money in that right now for us, unless we sell merchandise, because typically those gigs here in Springs, like, they don't pay a lot. And so right now we're sacrificing and paying our dues, trying to show the promoters of these venues, like, that we can bring people. And some of our bigger shows, we brought 60 to 70 people, and for just being nobody openers, that's a big pull for us.
I'll say 67 people
to bring in, to help out a gig for a touring act. And there's been a handful of cases where we have outsold the main act, and we see it.
Right,
so again, no money in it, but it depends on what you want to do. And some of the musicians I played with before, they're like, they want this money, they want this guaranteed money. And so you play in a bar and you set up your equipment, and it ends up being a 6-hour day easily, not alone your practice time leading up to it, to learn all the covers. Because you go to a bar, people want to hear their Leonard Skinner covers and their Jimmy Buffett covers and the Johnny Cash covers, and you're like, I want to play my music. We're just at a point where now we're like, we want to get into venues and play our music.
Now,
showcase.
I may have asked you this last time, but how long have you actually been gigging? And then did you realize halfway in that it's like, no, I want to do my material? I mean, how long have you been doing it? And at what point did you think, I think I want to do listening rooms, and I want to do songwriter rounds, or things like that more focus on your original music? At what point?
I think I always wanted to do it. Like, from the very first gig I played original music. And I guess, but it was the learning curve of me going, oh, well, they're going to be just like me. Like, if I see a musician playing live and they're like, what do you want to hear? I'm like, I want to hear what you wrote. And I'm the guy in the crowd that does that. And so I think I went into it with that perspective of thinking that people were going to be like me, in the sense that they were going to want to hear original music. Instead, they're like, well, you kind of sound like Johnny Cash, you should sing Johnny Cash. And so I paid my dues in the bars and doing that. And I just don't want to do it. And I'm not knocking anyone that does it. To each their own. I still love playing covers, because that's what inspires you. That's, you hear an artist, and like, that's why you want to write music. I'm just at a point now where we want to do our own stuff.
Fair enough.
But it was always from the beginning.
Yeah. It's good that you are at least honest with yourself, and the band is there to support you as well. If this is where you want to go live the dream, rather than, oh man, I'm just spinning my wheels. Do you really want to end up playing at the bars, at a bar, and lugging your gear and playing the same old songs? It's like, there are some who will like that, and that's very cool.
And I might be more willing to do it, but I just don't have time for it. If I'm gonna set up a band practice, once a week, and everyone bring their gear, and we're making a run at it. I have 2 little kids. I have a full-time job. So for me, if I'm going to make a run at it, I want to make a run at it doing original stuff.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, I would like to break here for a song. And then when we come back, I got some questions that are coming up in the chat that I'll go ahead and read to you. And then maybe talk a little bit more about Memphis and your experiences with all of that. But I see there's at least one more song here in you for you to go ahead and share with us. What you got?
You
Would you like me to tell you what you sent me? It doesn't say whiskey or beer, although, a computer and whiskey would be good. But I see Race Against Time.
Oh yeah, okay.
I
Yeah, so
figured you
I
were going to
wrote
play that.
I wrote this song right before we went, and it was I think having the conversations with my band and what it is we wanted to do. We just wanted to leave something behind, and here we were, going to record this album, and like, if nothing becomes of it, at least we will have this that, like, for me, it's my kids, right? And they might go, hey, my dad did this, when he was 40 years old. Like, he decided to go record an album, after being a firefighter and being in the military. Music wasn't even on his radar. My other bandmates, some of them have kids. Some of them have been longtime musicians, and his just, so the song kind of poured out of me in the sense that it was, we all have the ability to start over, to be somebody else, to, like, if you don't like the path that you're on, like, you wake up, if you're able to wake up tomorrow, you can start over, because essentially life is a race against time, and we're all doing something to leave something behind. At least that should be our goal, and that's what I hope to do for my kids.
Sounds wonderful. Let's hear it. Tim Meegan Jr., everyone.
Don't know where I'm going, only know where I've been. Like to think that I'm doing the best that I can. Life's a race that I found, and it's me against time, and we all get started in line, then we'll run till we're done, seen what we can leave behind. I'm not always gonna win, I'll always play a hand. I've been right, I've been wrong, and I'll always take a stance. Life's a race that I found, and it's me against time, and we all get started in line, then we'll run till we're done, seen what we can leave behind. Today I did nothing but to swear to God I can change. If I wake up tomorrow, then I can start all over again. Life's a race that I found, and it's me against time, starting line. Then we'll run till we're done. Seen what we can't leave behind.
Tim Meegan Jr., everyone. Race Against Time. Hey, Tim, that's a song that obviously is motivated with family in mind as well, too. And I know that the last time we spoke about the importance of family, involving them in your music, I'm just wondering, since our last interview, how are things with your family in first of all, the family unit as a whole, but also as you're progressing through your musical career, are they there helping you out? Are they wanting to be a part of it all?
Oh, very much so. I wouldn't be doing it if they weren't so supportive, but they are. Um, yeah, it's beautiful. Like they see it brings me happiness, and they're all, yeah, they know, and my kids are getting into it. They're playing instruments. We talk about music. We've done a couple road trips. I've taken them to Motown. I've taken them to Sun Records. They've been to RCA in Nashville. Like, they love it. And so my wife comes out and supports me at every show that I play. My in-laws come out and support me at every show. So it's been a very family thing. And like for them, they've seen it from the very beginning, from like ultimately when I picked up a guitar and started like writing songs, and they've seen the evolution of it. So.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of traveling that you're doing, particularly back and forth to Memphis and doing your shows and all. And let's see, I want to make a couple of noteworthy comments here. First of all, the lava lamp. Let's talk about that for just a moment here.
Finally, yeah, it's starting to melt, so it's looking good here in a second.
This is something that your daughter said you need more lighting. So
yeah. So need a lot of them.
Yeah, and to Michelle, to your wife, who helped us through navigate through some of the technical challenges in getting a non-Windows machine that I have no clue on how to use to help you get that in a position where we can actually talk this evening. So thanks, Michelle. And of course, your son in the football games. Who can discount that? Not at all. I'm looking forward to football season and his predictions as well. So
we are too. Big season for the Bears.
Oh yeah. We've got let's see, a few comments here that I want to pass your way. First of all, from Kathy, I still am new to guitar and curious what the apparatus in the sound hole is and what signatures are on your guitar.
This right here. The plug, is that what we're referring to?
Is that?
It's for feedback. So hopefully,
acoustic feedback. Okay. Yeah.
I honestly I could probably take it out and it'd probably sound better right now. But last night I was plugged in, and so I forgot that I had it in there. So playing live, when you're plugged in, going to an amp, you really don't need the sound hole. But right now, as acoustically, if you're not plugged in, it helps amplify the sound. So this little piece helps to, stop feedback. Anti-feedback.
Very cool. Play something. You're gonna play something in a minute. I bet there's gonna be more sound. now we're gonna mess up all of our mic
signatures. Is that what the questions were?
Yeah, signatures.
So my entire band. Dan Swanigan, lead guitar, shout out. Jeff Valentine, pedal steel, shout out. Joe Fitzgibbon, stand-up bass, shout out. And Daniel Fuller is my drummer, shout out. But then we had Susan Marshall, who sings background vocals. She has worked with Leonard Skinner and Lenny Kravitz. Reba Russell, she sang background. She has worked with Johnny Cash and June Carter and B.B. King, Jerry Lee Lewis. Rick Steff plays the organ on 6 of our songs, and he is in the band Lucero. They're out of Memphis. If you don't know who they are, I'd highly check them out. And our producer, which was Kevin Houston, and he has been a part of Lucero and North Mississippi All Stars, the Dickinsons. Yeah, just they're just people in the business, and they were all people that helped us create our upcoming album.
Man, what an impressive sounding lineup. And I can tell you, because you did share with me one of the recordings you made at the studio in Memphis, and I was just blown away. Just the production of it itself. And now that you've run through the names of the instruments, I can hear them all, and I can see, the role that everyone was, including the singers. Oh my goodness, those singers were just. I'm thinking, that's not your band, but your band was also there. So, all right, there you go. There's a question here from Robert. Tim would love to know who does your mixing and mastering. Starting into the world myself, would love to know more about your walk through this aspect of your career. So, I guess let's go ahead and start with the works that you've done so far in terms of the mixing and mastering that the people are aware of. What's the story behind that?
Well, Cook County Country was this band Vivian. Like I said, we did it all out of our house, and so they took everything on just to do it. Because I honestly never thought I would do anything again with music after that, honestly. And but going into what we did in Memphis, our mixing was done by Kevin Houston, and he is a producer, recording engineer out of Memphis. Like he teaches it there. He's been a part of a lot of big names in the business. Done a ton of albums. You can look him up, and the people he's worked with. So he was the one that did the recording, the mixing, and our mastering was done with. I'm gonna have to look the name up. Slipping my mind at the moment, but it was someone that Kevin Houston recommended. He's like, and he was based out of Memphis too, and they're like, Jacob Church just came to me. His name's Jacob Church, and he was just like, go with him. And
I need to refer to the liner notes to see.
Yeah. So on that album there, that would be Tim Massa and Elena did the mixing and mastering. They're a band called Vivian out of Louisiana.
Okay, I'm going to just do a shameless plug for your album that really I highly recommend you going to his site, timmeeganjr.com, and getting a copy of this. Do you have any vinyl copies left that you're putting in the mail to people?
I do.
Good. I highly recommend it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I really love this album. And I'm looking forward to, as is Kelly, who's also saying she's excited to buy the Memphis album. So you got at least two of us looking forward.
Thank you very much.
Are your band members prior service? That's another question.
Yes. So my stand-up bassist, he fought in the first Iraq War and Gulf War in 1991. And my pedal steel player, he's still actively in the Air Force right now. And my drummer is a wildland firefighter. So not military, but so yes, three of us are military.
All right. So that's it for the questions in the chat. And just for those who are on this live event this evening, thank you for joining us tonight. Tim has graciously offered to stay overtime a few minutes after the show is over to answer your questions, even if you just want to say hi and hang out. But here's a question for you, Tim. The track that you had shared with me, it was something that you recorded in Memphis. Maybe you can talk about the highlights and the challenges of putting this recording together. And is this something that varies wildly from what you experienced in your home recording? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, from the home recordings, it was, they would capture me on the guitar and then I'd sing and then they would basically just do the rest. So and it's not much different from recording in a studio, but it was mainly how it was done, I think, in the studio as far as isolation went, and the bringing in different dynamics to it. Like, oh, we hear an organ. All right, bring that in, and watching that unfold.
There's someone on call who is the organ player, right? We need an organ
I'm sorry?
now. We need an organ player now. So are musicians that available? It's like, I want to do this, and we're recording now, so go find an organ player to do this.
I don't know. That was all on our producer Kevin Houston, where he was just like, I'll put out some feelers to people and see who comes back, and they were the people that came back. So I think in Memphis, a place like Memphis, you can find musicians for sure. There's so much talent around that place. It's a mecca for music, and it's got a real soul to it, and so I think you can find it. Whether or not you time it out right when you're there, we were there for 5 days, and it was, well, who's available? And he brought in, some pretty big names for us, and I mean, we were pretty starstruck, staring at the people that were recording on our album and who they have worked with. So,
well, who's recorded in that studio before you? I mean, maybe there were some big names. You never know.
Yeah,
right?
I think, one that comes to mind was the North Mississippi All Stars for sure. The recording studio,
nice.
Archer Recording Studio in Memphis, Tennessee.
Gosh, when you think of Memphis, you can't help but think of the big names that go through there. Why am I thinking Elvis for some reason? Anyway, so here's what I would like to kind of throw your way, and you tell me if we could do this. I've got the recording you sent with me, but I would really be curious if you can play, a little bit of that song so people can go into listening to this recording and compare it to what it started off as. And that was just an acoustic arrangement, just you, right? As I'm guessing is that that's how it started.
Yes.
So are you open to that? Would you play a few bars, and then we'll go ahead, we'll fire up the song, and people can enjoy it as much as I did.
This is an apology letter to my wife, basically.
What's it called?
It's called Crazy Is Just Who I Am.
All right.
I know, so I show you everything, yeah, everything. My scars, my heart, all my pain, yeah, all my pain. Try to keep going crazy. And all I want is to be sane. What I think is maybe crazy is who I am. I feel my needs will pull you overboard, yeah, overboard. So you'll go on your own when you can't take no more. No, you can't take no more. And I try to keep going crazy. And all I want is to be sane. What I think is maybe crazy is who I am. losing the road as I tried to keep from going crazy. And all I wanted was to be sane. What I think is maybe crazy is who I am.
That's pretty much how it sounded after you were done writing it. Or maybe there were some refinements. Would that be a true statement?
Yes, that's how I wrote it, and for the most part, the chord structure all stayed the same, but we added in maybe going through a couple chord progressions longer, and repeating like a verse or something like that. So, and then obviously all the flavor and the painting that came on afterwards with the girl singers and the bass and the drums and the electric guitar layered multiple times, pedal steel, the organ, all that. So,
oh yeah. And then there was the master, but we won't go down that path just yet. So let's do this. Let me fire up the song, and everyone just sit back, take it all in, and then when we come back, we're going to ask Tim just a few more questions and then say our farewells. Crazy is just who I am, Tim Meegan Jr. Tim, what an excellent song. And I don't know about you, I could hear the impressive differences between the original acoustic version and all of that wonderful stuff that filled the spectrum, the musical spectrum. That those those vocals, those backing vocals. How many singers were there?
Two.
Two.
Yeah, two girls, Reba Russell and Sarah Marshall.
So beautiful, yeah. And of
Susan
course
Marshall,
that
sorry.
pedals.
Susan Marshall.
Well, don't, I won't tell her if you won't tell her.
Yeah.
And that
I got a
pedal
sister named
steel.
Sarah, so it.
Oh gosh, yeah. And that pedal steel. It's a rare thing to hear in a lot of the music that we listen to these days. At least I'm not coming into it as much. Although I do know some players who are in high demand. So how are you going to tour for this album? You gonna somehow find musicians to fill those spots? Are you even going to tour? I mean, what you got any plans for the future for this album and promoting it?
Well, my plan is that one, you don't know where it becomes or what it becomes, right? You know, once we put out to the world, it's up to people to decide what it is. But for me, like I said earlier, it's a family thing. Like, and if we make it, like I hope it's us as a band. Like that's what I want it to be. And if for some reason we get the nod to start doing some bigger things, I'm hoping we're all able to do it together and be the artist that played on this album. And that's the way I see it. You know, like I have a full-time job. Like I said, my pedal steel player, he's still in the Air Force right now. I have a music teacher, another one that's a wildland firefighter, and another my bassist is recently retired. So, but yeah, for me, it's if we make it, we make it together, and that's what I'm hoping it becomes. And play shows together however we can. You know, if it's only three of us, hey, it's only three of us, and this is what you get. But you know, I'm hoping that, you know, whatever way we do it, we can put these songs forward to people with, you know, one of us, two of us, three of us, four of us, and I hope the hell you get to see us with all five of us.
Is there a date of release plan? I think 2024 is the last thing that I read. Is there some date we should circle on our calendar?
There's no date. We're gonna set a single out for someone like us. To just drop an album doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're Chris Stapleton, you drop an album. People are going to listen to all 10 songs. If you're nobody, Tim Meegan Jr., you know, you drop a song and then maybe in 6 weeks you drop another song. However, if anyone's very interested in it, like once we have the vinyl, I'd be willing to send it out to anybody that's willing to buy it and listen to the entire album. But for us, like when it comes to like Spotify, which is you know, they're the key player into getting shows and, you know, your monthly listeners and your following, and like, and basically it crosses, you know, there's a reason why someone in Kentucky can listen to what we're doing out here in Colorado, and it's because of Spotify. And so we have to play that game right now for sure. Mm-hmm.
And you're all on all of the major streaming platforms.
Yes.
Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube.
There's YouTube. There's Deezer.
Okay. So many to name, but whatever you.
Yeah, there's a bunch, but Spotify seems to be the biggest pull when it comes to booking shows and gaining traction, is what I've found.
Yeah. Well, real good. In closing, let me ask you this. What words of wisdom can you share with our community of veteran learners and players when it comes to making music and songwriting a part of their lives?
Follow your heart. Do what you want to do. You know, if there's an artist that you like, you want to emulate, be that. But if you want to write your own songs and do that too. Do whatever makes you happy. And for me, what's making me happy is being myself, being original. And I'm not knocking any cover artists. Like, I'm not. I still love to play Johnny Cash. You know, it's one of my favorite things to do. But I wanted to be myself. And like, I realized being myself is what makes me happy. And so if you find your happiness, you know, especially for veterans who are maybe battling PTSD, or maybe they're, you know, whatever it is you need to make yourself happy, find that outlet. And if that means you go to a bar and you post up and you play your best cover songs ever, and like, that's your world of being happy, do it. Hope that makes sense.
I see your beer has arrived, but is there whiskey somewhere nearby? It's time to say our farewells to everyone here. Tim, it's been a real pleasure catching up with you. I mean, since November of last year, and we've been just kind of going back and forth. It's like, yeah, you got to come back and give us an update on how things are going. And now that we know that those recordings are coming from Memphis and the experience, thank you for sharing all of that. Some inside tips on songwriting and what motivates you, and just kind of going back through a part of your life, even, you know, reaching back into your service as well too. Thank you again for all of that. And if you're here, for our audience, if you're here watching this, stick around. We're going to go ahead and have an after party, I guess is what we call it here. We're going to talk to Tim, give you an opportunity to ask your questions. And, well, let's go ahead and say our goodbyes, Tim. For Guitars for Vets and Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts Community, I'm Tom Lamog. And for Tim Meegan and for Paul Lilly, our Director of Online Learning, thanks for watching. Good night, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. All right.